What's this stuff lying here on the floor? Well, I guess I gotta get to this sooner or later. Stay tuned. Alright, hopefully we won't have a whole lot of glare. This ought to be really interesting. Okay, so obviously this is a very stressful test, and I saw well over 120 inches, and it probably would go higher than that. But these kind of tests, directly with the motor, really strain it. Let's see how much airflow this very inexpensive motor can generate. And I have the old GM 8901 out because the adapter I'm using fits that vane very well, and my other one is a little too big. All right, let's see what we get here. That's pretty high. Okay, we got 63 times the conversion factor, and we're sitting at almost 160 CFM. Now that's raw motor spec, obviously. Fantastic. Looks like we got some spindle cleaning to do. I have some 220, 400, and 800 grit. There's a 220, there's a 400, and there's 800. Obviously it's going to get loud. And the last piece over here, right? Okay. That is in really fantastic shape. As you can see, the brush roll has been completely disassembled, and I got this big giant wad of hair that was wrapped around over here. That's not that big of a deal, but I have not one, not two, but 3 bearings, and they are in really terrible shape. This part of the brush roll, honestly, is pretty good. This is probably somewhat of a serviceable piece, but unfortunately, you need all these other pieces. And in an earlier part of another video, we have some damaged pieces. Here's a nice little melted piece there. And then, of course, here's a piece that, let's see, was supposed to go together like this and has obviously snapped in half. So my testing is going to be extremely limited with this NanoLite, and I don't really see at this point in time how I'm going to make this brush roll work at all. So before I go and put the top back onto the head, we got to talk about this, because in the first video you saw these nifty little broken pieces. That kind of went right here. Well, when they were in good shape, but they're not. So the problem is I had to rebuild this brush roll with what worked. And what worked, believe it or not, is still intact. However, this is just the idler wheel, the idler pulley right here. This is the only thing that really survived. And you should know that on this brush roll it has 1, 2, 3 bearings. All 3 bearings were completely frozen. So I had to put a lot of effort into spinning this thing to get the brushes to spin. And right now this is spinning very, very easily. It's not perfect, but all 3 bearings were totally frozen. So what I'm going to have to do is rig something up so that this idler wheel, I guess you could call it, somehow will permanently connect with the rest of this brush roll. Because right now it just, you know, idles. So when I hook up the belt and then push, see, this is upside down. When I hook up the belt and I push hard floor, it should engage the idler wheel, and when I do carpet, it would engage another wheel right here that would make this spin. Well, that's not there anymore. So I may rig something up to where hard floor actually becomes carpet mode. So I got some ideas. I'm not sure how well they're going to work, but if I'm going to do any appreciable testing with this crazy brush roll, I'm going to have to figure out a way to make this not just sit there and idle around like that and not literally engage the brush roll itself. But the bristles are more or less okay. I use that term loosely. The neat thing is all of the bearings have been completely rebuilt, and this spins so much better than what it did before. Okay, we're more or less back together. Just got a few screws left for the top. So this is the original belt that's completely chewed. Well, I mean, it's not completely chewed because there's still most of it there, but I'm going to do an idler pulley test. So if it flops off, you're going to see me move real fast. So it is, or should be, not spinning this brush roll at all. It literally should just be like, say, in hard floor mode. All right, let's see what happens. Well, generally that's a good sign, I suppose. Let's see here. So this shouldn't really spin. Yep, so we're in good shape. Guess I could maybe show it to you like, no, it's too hard to show it to you that way. But, all right, we're stable for now. But the brush roll won't indeed spin. I wasn't expecting it to, obviously. Okay, we're back together. So let me turn this thing on and watch it suck up my painter's tarp. Of course, the brush roll isn't spinning because it can't. All right, I think we're ready for whatever tests we can do with this thing. Now we have this NanoLite on the airflow suction box, and I've got my hold peak meter out there so we can see the direct airflow reading without having to use the annoying calculator. But as I mentioned before, the brush roll is not spinning, but the belt is actually loaded on the brush roll pulley system, so the motor is under some type of load, although the brush roll isn't spinning. You can see I have the bare floor taped off here, so not to try to flip it over to carpet, because if you do, something might go boom. There is a little airflow suction relief hole right back here, and if I put my finger in there, we can actually increase some of the readings, but normally, of course, you're not supposed to do that for this machine. Okay, be that as it may, I think we started out, boy, it was close to 160 CFM with the raw motor power. And there's no way this thing is going to have very high CFM. That's just not the way to design it. The seals in here really aren't that great. What seals exist, and there are a few, it's pretty much just the that filter that's in the back there. And also that filter is absolutely required to make the machine run, not just to filter the dirt, because it actually creates the seal that gives you the airflow. So let's see what this does. I can only really do 2 airflow tests, one with the filter in, and then of course one with the filter out, and maybe we'll have a little fun, say, clogging up that airflow suction relief hole. So here we go. The filter is in, and the brush roll is not spinning, but the motor is hooked up to the belt. And if something goes wrong and something goes kaboom, watch me scurry to turn the video off, I suppose. You should also be able to see the power usage. So I've been showing current usage for a long time. Loaded, we are at 121 volts, so the power usage will reflect the total power at 121 volts. So I'm really impressed with that, a little over 70 CFM, but as you may have heard, the exhaust air coming out of this was blowing right by both microphones, and it probably sounded like you're in a windstorm. Well, I guess that's just what happens. Let me try it with my finger covering that hole, see what happens. You know, we didn't gain as much as what I thought, 3 some odd CFM. So I guess that really wouldn't affect your vacuuming pickup anyway if you have one of these machines. So I would say, for safety's sake, leave the hole uncovered. How about we take the filter off now? So when I do that, there is this rubber seal that goes all the way around. That obviously will seal in here. When I take that out, you're just not going to get any appreciable CFM. Let's reset. Okay, here we go for max. It's not going to be much. Okay, turn your headphones down to be sure. Let's take a look at the suction, and I will make an attempt to cover the suction relief valve. Well, that was pretty interesting. I seem to see about 34 peaking up to 38 when I covered the valve. So how about we do some surface, maybe bare floor tests or something with this machine, because that's all I can really do at the moment. So put some stuff in the carpet, and where you see the red sand, well, there's baking soda underneath it. So the baking soda is so fine, it literally falls right into the pile. So let's see what it does. And remember, the brush roll is not spinning. Wow! That is amazing. That did a great job. There, by the way, it didn't pick up all the sand. I mean, there's no brush roll spinning here, but that did a great job. No brush roll spinning. You know what? How about we use this is in hard floor mode, on the hard floor. How about we do that? Really impressed. Not bad at all. Well, look at that. Will you look at that? I mean, that's hilarious. Just this tiny little bit here and here. That is, except for this, that is a clean sweep. So let me show you the brush roll again. I just ran the calculation, and the airflow density is over a 4. It's 4.14 CFM per square inch, and that's Kirby level. So yes, it picks up, even when the brush roll isn't spinning. And here is what made it into the bin. Let's see, let me get a piece of paper for that. So if I dump it into the carpet, some of it will get lost in the carpet. But there you go. And I'm sure there's some stuff here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, look at that. Ugh. A lot more came out of that filter. A bunch more. So this is there for a reason. All right. So really impressed with this thing. I'm told it was really, really cheap when it came out. It's got a fantastic motor in it. Obviously the whole system is very inefficient, but look, it still picks up. And again, no brush roll. So not bad. I'm pretty impressed actually. I wish I could get this spinning someday, and if I do, you'll see a video on it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.